Watch how. This is Rel Jackson. I'm a brand ambassador for Magical Pose. Magical Pose is a clothing line for men, women, and most teens. You can find them on Instagram, Magical Pose, MAGICALPOSE. You can find them online at magicalpose.com, MAGICALPOSE.com. And you can even Google search Magical Pose Apparel and find their website that way. Now, due to COVID, you may experience some shipping delays from 7 to 14 days. Be advised, all orders will be shipped within 3 to 5 days after processing. Your first email is with the confirmation and receipt. Your second email is when it's shipped with tracking information. Free shipping on all orders, $150 or more. No promo code needed. Feel free and check out their catalog. They have things ranging from women's bodycon dresses, candy painted women's twist front tanks, zipper pouch, jackets, backpacks, crop top windbreakers, t-shirts, hoodies. And if you want a discount with the Magical Pose because you're with Rel Jackson, use discount code MPREL333. MPREL333. Thank you for shopping with Magical Pose. I hope you like what you get. Feel free, hit me back. Let me know what you think. And I will see you guys later. Bye.
Hey, Rel.
Hey, baby. This is Rel. Welcome to the back of the classroom. Today, we're going to talk about putting your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Okay, let's start off with the top. First, we got to take responsibilities for our own misfortune. Right? Can't blame the world. Can't blame the universe. Can't blame God or, whatever higher authority you look up to. You can't blame them. Not entirely. Because first, you got to look at what you can fix. So, if you're in school and you got bad grades, you can't blame the teacher. You can't blame the world. Because if you didn't take any responsibility for knowing you had a test, doing your homework, looking at the quizzes, making sure the course and the content that you're getting, you understood, you test yourself with what you learned to see if you get it right, then you failed to take every opportunity to make sure you had the right information or you understood it. Can't go to a job, your boss tell you to do something, and you say you got it, and you go, yeah, and then you go outside and you realize you don't know what you're doing, and then you try anyway to do something, you have no idea on what you're doing, and then you make a mistake and then go, see what the world did, or blame the universe. Can't blame anybody if you didn't take the opportunity to make sure you had everything you needed to be as successful as possible. You can't blame other people when you had the opportunity to stop, call time out, realize you don't have everything that you need, and reach out to the people who's in a position to help you to get you what it is that you need. We have to take responsibility for our part to play in the things that we're involved in. You go to school, make sure you have all the information you need. If you're not doing too good in a class, ask the teacher, can I sit next to the smart kid? Or who got an A on the last test? I need to study with you. Who at my job know what's going on here? I need to get with you because I'm not up to part to what's going on, and I need to be in the best possible position I can be for myself. Don't worry about not looking cool. Don't worry about not having the popularity that everybody else has, because at the end of the day, you're in school to education. You're not in school for popularity contests. If that was the case, why do any work at all? Just hang out with the cool kids and be popular. But you know that's not what you want. You know that's not what's expected of you. You know that's not what's going to help you progress in life. Pay attention to anybody who's popular now. They have to have something. They got to bring something to the table. They got to speak properly. They got to be somewhat well educated because they have to conduct business. They're gonna have a lawyer present, which is somebody who's educated, which means at some point or another you're going to need professionals, highly educated people in the field that they're in, to help you be where you're at. And if you're unknowledgeable and you can't keep up with what's going on, 9 times out of 10, they might get you for what you got. Your lawyer might take a little bit more off the top. Your accountant might take more. Like, you hear all these stories about people being taken advantage of because they can't read and write or keep up with what's going on in the business world, but yet they're conducting business. So we got to take responsibility for ourselves in the situations we're in. We have, if you got kids, pay attention. Like, you put them in a situation, you want to make sure they learn how to take responsibility for the things that they're at. Make sure they're aware of the rules and regulations and how things work. See where they're at in life and where they want to go, and find an example of that lifestyle that they want to live and show it to them. Like, that's what it looks like. You want to have a conversation with that person, you want to talk to them, you want to see if everything that you're saying isn't something they did. And if you see where they're at and that's what you like, ask them the odds of them being successful and having all of that, and what are the advantages and disadvantages they had. Because although you want to do what they did, you might not be in the same situation they were in. Your mother and father might not be the same as theirs. Their opportunities might not be the same as yours, but you want to do what they did. So who better to tell you if you have a chance at doing that besides somebody who's already doing it? Because they the ones who did what you want to do. And 9 times out of 10, they might not like who they looking at as far as the outcome of what it is they want to do. They might not believe it. Go talk to them. Ask questions. And see what they say. You might come across somebody who has some information for you that'll change your entire mindset on what it is you're doing and how you need to take accountability and responsibility for your actions and reactions. Somebody do something, you can choose how to react because you're in control of your emotions and your feelings. Somebody say something to you, you can choose to ignore them, or you can choose to say something. How do you handle disrespect? You can choose to correct them, or you can choose to say something crazy, or you can still choose to ignore them. All of these things are your choices, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what you think, who you are as a person, and how you respond is 100% up to you. Somebody could disrespect you, can turn your face and be like, you know, it's my job, it ain't even worth it. It's a choice. You took a minute and thought about it. You evaluated what was important. You looked at your priorities, and you said, you know what? You're not tricking me out of a good thing. I will not go down a path of destruction to spite you. No, I want to be successful. There's ways of handling you that can be handled in a way that's different than me hurting and sabotaging my life and what's going on with me. So part of that is you just caring about fixing the things to the best of your ability. So if you got to look back in time and go, hey, you know what? I messed up on a few tests. You got to take accountability for that. You messed up. I messed up. I have to do something different. I'm failing too many tests. I'm not going to graduate on time. I'm not going to get this good report card. If I can't get a good report card, I'm not going to do, obviously I'm not learning enough. I might not do good on the Regents. If I can't get the proper Regents and the proper diploma, my scores ain't high, I can't get a scholarship. Depending on my family situation, I might not even go to college. I might not even be able to afford it. And based on the things that I want to do and the profession that I want to get into, it don't even pay that much. So let me go ahead and look at the way real estate is and understand how much a house costs, how much renting is. And then let me talk to the tuition office and see how much or what's the range from minimum to maximum or what it look like on paying back a loan. And then let me talk to my parents and people about what the light bill look like. What are your bills? What are your everyday bills? And then start calculating what it costs to live, what it costs to go to school. And you got books, you got all these bills piled up. Get as much information as you can and see what life is going to be like. If you look at and calculate all your bills, you write everything down, you talk to family members, and you get a minimum maximum of a light bill, a minimum maximum of a gas bill. Look into these online apps where you can look at how much it costs to rent an apartment, look how much it costs to rent a house, buy a house. Get all this information, write it down, jot it down, and see where the decisions you're making is going to lead to. And then ask even more questions. Hey, is the rent going up or is the rent going down? Are houses getting more expensive or less expensive? Or do we have enough room? Are the things that I want or the places I want to be going to be available by the time I have access to it? So these are things you need to strategize and understand, because when you look backwards, you realize you made some mistakes. You got to hold yourself accountable, and you got to go, all right, what can I do to not be in the same situation I am now next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now? If you can properly jot things down, look at everything, and be realistic and say, I need to fix these things so I can be better tomorrow. And I need to prepare for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And I need to set myself up for success. You got to start putting yourself in position. You have to start holding yourself accountable. Start being where you need to be. Get the information. Learn as much as you need to learn. As many people as you can reach out to in the positions that you like, you admire, you respect. Get as much input. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Nobody knows everything, but everybody knows a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And if you can just tap into all of these different people's understandings and their knowledge and their experiences in life, they can help guide you to make you the best possible decision to go where you want to go. It's okay if it don't look cool. Grown men and women have mentors. You just don't have teachers when you're in school, and when you're free, you can do whatever you want. Grown men and women go see doctors. They're professionals. Grown men and women see dentists. They're professionals. We got to start getting into mental therapy and make sure we get a mental clean bill of health. They're professionals. And if you go somewhere and you start something new, whether it's a business or a company, there are people who's been there already. Those people who put you under their wing can be considered mentors. Respect them, appreciate them. They didn't have to take the time out their day to show you. And even if that was their job, if they gave you the best possible information, you know what? Appreciate that. Because there's a lot of people who can't teach, who won't show you certain things, and they were put in a position to help you, get you where you want, and give you the best possible outcome possible. Why? Because it benefits everybody. If you're working with me, I want you to know as much as I know, because that's less I have to tell you. The more I learn, the more I share, the more we can move together as a team. It just makes more sense that way. We have to be on the same page in order for us to dance and not step on each other's toes. So, same thing with music. If we're all playing music and we off beat, we sound terrible. We got to be on the same page. We got to be on the same tempo. I might do my thing here. You can do your thing there. But like musical instruments, when it all comes together, it's a beautiful symphony that nobody can deny. So we got to care about fixing it. And then we also have to address the elephant in the room. Life is hard. The struggle is real. It don't matter if you have all the money in the world. You still have a weakness, and there is still something that can get to you, bother you, and upset you and throw you off. So you could be the fastest runner, but you might not be able to cook that great. So how you going to eat? Everybody got a weakness, because your strengths are the things you focused on. Your weaknesses are the things you didn't prioritize first. So it's not to say that you're weak. It's just to say, if I focused on running and I didn't focus on cooking, then obviously my cooking skills is on the weaker spectrum of the scales of what I can do best and what I can't do that great. Not to say you can't cook. You just might not be the best. But what you focused on are your strengths, the things you really didn't focus on that much, your weaknesses. So if you look at your report card and you can look at what you got A's in versus what you got a B or a C, you might say, whatever I got an A in, I'm naturally gifted. Whatever I got a B in, I've learned and I'm good and I've adapted. And whatever I got a C in, I didn't focus that much on. And that's okay. The point is, focus on it. Give it a little more attention to it. When you got a natural gift, you can just keep practicing. When you're learning something, you give it more attention, but you really need to focus on the things that you're not doing that great in, right? So you improve your situation by understanding life is hard, nothing's going to be easy, but to minimize the weaknesses and the things that get left behind, you want to just focus on those things a little bit more. I understand having fun is a great thing and you want to get out there and live your best life, but at the end of the day, you can enjoy being successful. You can enjoy reaping the benefits of the things you put enough energy into, like buying a car. Now you made the commute to school and work a little bit more easier. You can enjoy that. You can sit back, not worry about social distancing because you're in your car. You can listen to music as loud as you want. You can pace yourself, not worry about what time the train comes and different things. Use an app to make sure you can avoid traffic and you can get to going where you want to go and avoid all things possible that you can avoid. Things you can't avoid, listen, you're a victim of circumstance. It is not your fault. But the things you can prevent, the things you can avoid, do so. Now, let's say you can't get a car and you're still on a train. That's cool. Public transportation is iffy at best. Do yourself a favor. Leave a little bit earlier. What that means, you got to wake up a little bit earlier. What that turns into is you got to go to bed a little bit earlier. What that means is you'd have to make sure you handle all your business and do what you need to do, eat, prepare for the next day earlier, which means you might have to decrease the amount of time you put to lounging around, being lazy, procrastinating, just sitting back and enjoying and having fun time, and put it toward, being more productive so that you can be well prepared for the next day. Get to work early, get to school early, sit down, go over your notes. Mentally prepare yourself for what you're about to get into so that you can excel. Sitting down at breakfast, write down some notes and go over it. Pull out your book and reread what you did yesterday. Mentally prepare yourself for the next class or for when you go into the office. And see if that doesn't help put your mind at ease because you are prepared. Right? So if you can consider that you have a personal responsibility in your misfortune, not all of it, then we can understand we can't always blame the world, the universe, and God. We're taking responsibility for our part to play in it. Because at some point, if we got caught up in something, we probably knew we probably shouldn't have been there. Or there was a voice of reason that said, that might not be a good idea. Let me not do it. And you chose to go along with it anyway, ignoring that conscious, the better side of you that says, this might not be the best. If you can take accountability and responsibility for that, you can make changes and you can adjust and account for the things that's going on, right? And then you got to ask yourself, did you do everything in your power to improve your situation? Did you reach out for help? Did you look for a mentor? Did you really hold yourself accountable for the things that happen? Hold yourself responsible and then go, you know what? I can do better. And then once you make the connection with your actions and your situation, you can control your actions, which then can change your situation. So it goes back to you just understanding I am the master of my own universe. As many obstacles that come my way, I can overcome it. I just have to stand tall, handle my responsibilities, do the right thing, articulate things that I need understanding, get to it, work it out, get through it. And you'll be surprised on how quick and efficient you could become at making things better and easier for you. Right? So if you could do that, think about all the times you might have passively just sabotaged yourself by letting bad things happen. Sitting there and doing nothing, that shows complacency. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to do anything. It ain't got nothing to do with me, so I'm just going to not. But you are doing, that's still an action. Inaction is an action. You just sat there and chose to do nothing. So while bad things are happening, you can't outright blame the world and anybody and everybody when you were complacent in the things that were happening. You're getting bad grades and you're not doing anything about it. You're not studying more. You're not asking the teacher to help you figure something out. You're not reaching out to any of the kids in the class who are getting the A's and the B pluses to give you assistance. Reach out to the people doing great at it. Because if it's a natural gift or something that they've learned to understand, they can pass that information on to you. Why stay in the back of the race when you can move up to the front and be with the greats? I feel, hey, if anybody want to be great at something, you can either emulate those who are doing great and follow in their footsteps, or you can tap them on the shoulder and ask them information and help get an insight on what they do and behind the scenes and all the other things that's going on. Because even those who have the talent also still put themselves in a position to do that and express themselves through their talent. Every great football player or basketball player or musician could have done something else, but they understood they had a gift, a talent, the ability to do something, and they chose to explore that option. So you can always tap into those people and ask them questions and get as much insight and information as you possibly can. Don't let bad things happen and sit there complacently. Say something, remove yourself from the situation so that you have the best possible outcome for yourself. Right? Have a mindset to prepare for disaster. Lack of preparation is and has been the reason many people who have had downfalls they couldn't recuperate from, because they assumed couldn't happen to me. I ain't worried about that. There's red flags and bad things happening all over the place. Don't assume it can't happen to you, but definitely understand the warnings and heed the understanding of what's happening and how it can affect you, and position yourself in a way that it's less likely to. If you can avoid it altogether, great. But don't say it can't never happen to you and then you walk through a dark alley and then you get hit in the back of the head and then you're wondering what happened to you. You didn't properly assess the risk in doing what you're doing. And then when it happened to you, you're oblivious to understanding how it happened to you because you just couldn't believe it could happen to you. Listen, be aware of the dangers. Be aware of the downfalls. Listen, if I run in the street, I could hit by a car. I'm not going to say ain't no car going to hit me. Because then when a car hits me, I'm just stuck wondering, hey, what was supposed to happen? Without realizing, understanding it very well, much heated warning was not adhered to. You got hit by a car and now you are unprepared for it. If you're going to drive, get insurance on your car. Not because you think you're a bad driver, but because you know accidents can happen. It might not be a use. You might get a flat and might be able to control it, and in that split second, you tap the car. That's not your fault. You are a great driver, but accidents happen. You do not pave the roads. You do not make sure the lights work. You do not control all the other cars around you. So you need insurance because you need to be able to protect yourself, get your car fixed, and make sure it's ready. And in case you have any medical issues that arise from said accident, you're covered. So don't put yourself in harm's way and assume that you don't need insurance when things happen. Right? Take full advantage of opportunities to improve yourself, your career, your relationships, because this doesn't just work when it comes to school. It also works when it comes to careers, and it definitely works when it comes to relationships. You're going to work with somebody, respect them for who they are, understand who they are, and then when things happen inside that relationship, take responsibility for what you did. All right, I didn't have to do that. I'm learning, I'm understanding. I'm not perfect, but I can learn to learn more about you. I can learn to figure out what works best and doesn't work. And if it's something that I want to continue to do and I find value, then guess what? I'm going to do things because I want to. Not because you want to, but because I want to. And it's the same vice versa. I'm not going to say, well, I feel this way, so you have to do this, this, and that. No, you're responsible for your own feelings and emotions. You're responsible for how you control yourself based on your emotions, because your actions are 100% on you. So you can't blame the world for your misfortune in life, in your relationships, in your career, without taking responsibility for your part to play in it first. Because once you can look at all the things you've done, then you know the rest of it doesn't belong to you. And even with that, you can let it go. I've been through some hard times in work, relationships, and guess what? I can work on what I can work on, and everything else I don't worry about, because there's nothing I can do about that. I can't change the world. I can't change people. I can only change my level of participation and how I act within these things and how I learn from it and how I carry myself. So speak positive. Speak uplifting things about yourself. There was an experiment with a potato. They said negative things to a potato, and in another separate potato somewhere else, they said positive things. The positive, the potato that got the positive words grew. It became plentiful. The potato that heard nothing but negativity, it got bad. It got sour. That's energy. And unfortunately, when you talk about yourself, your body, your consciousness doesn't determine, or it doesn't filter out you saying it because it's you. Your consciousness will accept any information you give it, whether you're saying it or somebody else is saying it. So now you got to look at your environment. Are you hearing positive, uplifting things? Or are you hearing negative things? If you're hearing negative things, do your best to remove yourself from the situation, or express you dislike and disconcern for hearing negative things, and try to get that changed, because at the end of the day, the energy you receive is going to determine which way you go as far as your mindset when it comes to making decisions and processing information. Keep listening to positive information. Keep speaking positive about yourself. Let your focus be positivity. We all know bad things happen. I can focus on how I stubbed my toe and tell you I had a bad day. Or I can tell you, I woke up, ate breakfast, the sun came out, it felt good. I laid down, I stretched, I spoke to some family members, I spoke to a few business partners, I spoke to a couple of my friends. Everybody seemed to be doing okay based on the circumstances. You know, I'm doing pretty good. Today's a good day. Or I stubbed my toe, hurt it all day. It's just been annoying to walk, and now I have nothing but negativity. Most people don't want to be around negativity. I mean, they're here for you. They want to support you. They will sit there and listen, but people want you to do better, get better, be better so they can enjoy their time with you. People don't mind helping you, but people rather enjoy their time with you even more. So if you sick, I'm going to bring you that soup and tell you, hey, look, eat this soup, get better, because, you know, we want to play some basketball and some football, and, you know, the squad ain't the same without you. Or you sick, yo, bro, it sucks at work, and we need you back because, you know, you part of the team, and we ain't moving the way we used to without you. So I'm going to make sure you good. Make sure we can get you back with us so we can go ahead and do the things that we like to do. And that positive energy, when you speak it to yourself, it does great things for you. And it does great things for the people around you. And if you can keep those people around you, they can fend off a lot easier the negativity, the negative people, and just bad energy. And when you can keep that positive energy around you, you can hold yourself accountable. You can hold other people accountable. You can make great things happen for you. And when you're at peace, you can bring peace to others. So you can't want to tell somebody else how to improve their situation if your situation ain't all the way together. What are you basing it on? What you know? But if you knew it, you'd have it done. I won't take financial advice from somebody who's never had money. But if you had it and lost it and had it and lost it, then listen, you know how to get it back. You ain't afraid of losing it. I know somebody who's lost thousands of dollars and he don't sweat it. I can learn from him because it's not that he don't have it now in the moment. He's had it, he's lost it. He's had it, he's lost it, but he's not afraid of taking risks. It's not like he had it and he kept it in the bank like Scrooge McDuck and didn't want to spend a penny. No, he didn't have a problem reinvesting it and taking a chance. And he has no problem getting it back. That's a person I can follow with financial advice. Somebody who's in different areas, depending on what it is, I'll listen. You got the education I didn't go get. You focused in the area I didn't. Please, let me tap you on the shoulder and let me get some information. And if you see how that all works together, when you put your house in order first, you can then help others. You can fix things when you have everything you need and you're of sound mind, body, and spirit. So when things and you're in the airplane and the mask come down, they tell you put it on yourself first. Put yourself in order before you put somebody else in order. If you're sick, can't get me better if you're sick, because all you're gonna do is get me sick, and we're just gonna keep going back and forth with the sick. You get healthy, and then and then you can come help me in my situation, so then we can both be healthy. But if you're sick and then you get me sick, and then 9 times out of 10, when a parent takes care of a child, the parent ends up getting sick, getting the child better. But then when the parent's sick and the child's better, they tell the child, look, go that way, let me get myself better so I don't get you sick. So you stop the cycle by separating yourself when you knew it's beneficial to do it that way. You didn't mind getting sick to help somebody, or you didn't mind getting muddy. But then once the other person's clean, once the other person's better, you tell them to go off and do the things they need to do the way they need to do it, because they got to play catch up. And then you do things the way you know, because you already had the experience and the know-how to get yourself better. Now, not everybody can get themselves better, so they go to somebody else. But then what you learn from that is how not to get sick when helping somebody else. As long as you follow those rules and procedures, you can be successful in any and everything that you do. But it first starts with holding accountability for yourself, and then everything else that's not on you, it's not on you. You can't fix that. You can't work on that. It has nothing to do with you. You can only understand it, situate yourself in a position where you don't have to go through those things anymore, and go ahead and keep flourishing and be great at life, because your situation can change and doesn't have to stay the same. So if you made it this far on the podcast, I thank you. Rel's Locker is still open in effect. I want to thank everybody who's made purchases during this sale. It was my birthday week. I appreciate everybody for supporting. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.